Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Irina and today I'll show you some more makeovers of Dollar Tree items. My first project is a bubble tabletop mirror. You'll need a mirror, some marbles and epoxy glue. This design looks best with marbles of different sizes, so choose the package having at least 2 sizes of marbles in it. I'm mixing 2 components epoxy glue according to the instructions. I'm using epoxy pulp for metal here. It doesn't flow as other epoxy glues and is easy to work with. You can also use other strong glue like Gorilla Glue and the like. And I'm just gluing the marbles to the mirror leg. And here I had to show miracles of resourcefulness. I had to hold each marble for 5 to 7 minutes without moving it till the glue sets, and so as not to glue one marble at a time, I attached some marbles with one hand only, while holding the already glued ones with the other. I had to spread my fingers at the most inconceivable angles, making intricate pirouettes in order to have time to use all the mixed portion of glue before it begins to harden. So if you're using epoxy for this, do not mix a lot at once. I'm gluing the marbles to the base and the leg, creating this bubble effect very randomly. You don't want to use too many. For the whole mirror I used less than half the package of marbles. After I liked overall look, I'm covering the mirror with masking tape, as I'm gonna spray painting the whole thing gold. After painting, I'm drying it well, finally removing masking tape and admiring the result. You may have seen candlesticks decorated with such marbles. I really liked how they looked and I have long wanted to recreate this bubble effect somewhere. I think now the mirror looks very stylish, like some item from the gallery or something, and I think it will look great in silver or black as well. Next, I'll make some spring candle holder. I bought a very nice silicone mold with magnolia at AliExpress. It shouts spring, and I'm making casts from self-hardening clay. Here I'm using Dorvey rock. I'm covering the inside of the casts with white glue and attaching them to the candle holder, crinkling them over shape. Of course, some bigger details will not fit over the candle holder thoroughly, but this is not necessary. The main thing is to attach all the edges well. I'm setting aside the finished item for clay to dry well, and then I'm gonna paint it. I'll be using homemade chalk paint according to the recipe which I have already shown you before, based on white clay. I'm mixing a spoonful of white clay with a spoonful of water till have no lumps. And then I'm adding 2 or 3 tablespoons of acrylic paint. Here I'm adding 2 spoons of ivory color and then another spoonful of white to make the color a little bit lighter. And I'm painting the candle holder with the resulting chalk paint. This paint adheres well to glossy ceramics and I'm giving it about 3 layers to obtain a uniform ivory color. Then I decided I wanted some spring color pop, so I'm mixing a portion of cream paint with a drop of burgundy and red to get a soft pink color. and I'm painting the flowers. trying to make smooth color transitions. To do this, I'm covering each petal with cream, then I'm adding several pink strokes at the base while cream paint is still wet, and finally blending both colors till I get a smooth shading. I'm painting each petal separately to make them all different like real magnolia has. Then I'm mixing a deeper pink shade and painting the outside petals with it, because outside of the magnolia flower is to be a little bit brighter. I'm also blending cream with pink here to get many hues of pink. Using exactly the same technique, I'm painting the leaves. I'm making them very delicate shade of green. Here I'm using some homemade green chalk paint prepared using the same recipe. I'm painting the leaf with cream, applying green color to the central vein whilst over wet paint, and blending green into cream, moving towards the edges. After drying, I'm giving it a coat of clear wax. I love the final look, it's such a delicate, just as I wanted it to be. Chalk paint is not a must here. If you first prime the candle holder, you can use ordinary acrylic paints and use some matte varnish instead of wax, or even glossy varnish if you want to imitate porcelain. At my local Dollar Tree, I came across this kettle clock, decided to make a jacket in Mackenzie & Child style. First of all, I'm disassembling the clock and removing clock mechanism and glass. Then I'm priming it. Here I used adhesive primer, you can also use some spray primer for plastic. I'm making some casting details using my favorite silicone mold with big nets here, and also using self-hardening clay. I'm attaching the elements around the lid, gluing them using white glue and cutting off the excess at the sides. I'm also adding a tiny ball of clay over the lid. After the clay has dried, I'm making the pattern. I'm using flexible measuring tape here, quite approximately more or less following the curves of the kettle. I'm dividing the kettle into 7 equal parts and drawing stripes up, and then dividing them horizontally to make squares. Then I'm giving the whole kettle a coat of ivory. Pencil lines here are still visible from under the paint. To imitate Mackenzie's pattern, I'm then taking blue and pale yellow paint. I'm painting stripes of blue and yellow with a flat brush. Nothing special, I'm just making blue strokes, leaving some gaps in between. Then I'm adding yellow strokes here and there between the blue ones. And finally, the most entertaining thing is to draw black checks. Best is to use a small flat brush here to get a neat, even edge. Though you don't have to be very neat here, some irregularities only add character to the drawing. I'm also leaving visible brush strokes here and there to make the pattern a little bit more rustic. If you're new, I want to say a big welcome and would love you to join my community by tapping on the subscribe button as well as the bell to keep up to date with everything I have to show. After the checkered pattern is ready, I'm painting the lid handle bright red and I'm painting the handle of the kettle brown, like made of wood. Finally, I'm adding some bronze details. These are the sides of the upper handle, cast in filigree, I'm also making a thin bronze strip over the lid and painting a fixing ring which goes around the dial. Finally, I'm giving the whole thing a coat of clear wax. Now for the dial. I've printed out the vintage dial. I'll leave the template in the description box below the video. I'm edging it a little using instant coffee. I'm applying some coffee over the paper with a brush and then ironing it to dry. I'm cutting out the dial and also cutting out some cardboard detail of the appropriate diameter. I'm punching the middle in the cardboard circle. And finally gluing the printout over the cardboard using white glue. Be sure to leave it to dry under some weight so that the cardboard doesn't bulge from moisture. Here I'm edging it with some more coffee. And after drying, I'm hot gluing it to place. It remains to assemble the clock. Put the mechanism, hands, glass, and finally a fixing ring. Of course, such a design is a very bold one and you may get tired of it. I think such Dollar Tree makeovers are great for this because you can make such decor for little money and interchange it easily to suit your mood. Let me know what you think of the projects down below. I want to thank all of you for joining me today. Have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Bye!